Clint Frazier was a first-round draft pick and someone who was highly touted as one of the next young stars in baseball. By the time he was traded to New York and made his debut, those expectations only grew. Skip ahead to the current day, and Clint Frazier is not only off the New York Yankees roster, but is publicly saying how happy he is himself. In 2013, the Cleveland Indians drafted Clint Frazier with the 5th overall pick. Coming out of college with the Georgia Bulldogs, Frazier was looked at as one of the best prospects in all of baseball, and it showed. In his first 44 games of his first professional career, Clint Frazier hit .297 with an .868 OPS, swatting 5 home runs and driving in 28 runs. 2 years later, in 2015, Frazier hit .285 with an .842 OPS, popping 16 home runs and driving in 72. And then 2016 came around, and the Cleveland Indians were a really good team. But there was just something missing and something that they could really use. That missing piece of the puzzle ended up being left-handed reliever Andrew Miller on the New York Yankees. Good thing for Cleveland, the Yankees weren't going anywhere that year. They had already given up Aroldis Chapman to the Chicago Cubs, meaning if the right offer was given, the Indians would have no issue with getting Miller, and they didn't. On the day of the trade deadline, Andrew Miller was traded from the Bronx to Cleveland, and part of the Indians' package headed to the Yankees, Clint Frazier. Just under a year later, he'd go on to make his major league debut in a Yankees uniform and somewhat made an impact, like when he hit a walk-off home run off of Corey Knebel to win a game against the Brewers. August rolled around, Frazier was placed on the injured list and did not play in the postseason that year. 2018 didn't see much playing time for Frazier due to the injuries, but he'd have a really solid 2019 season, hitting .267 with an .806 OPS, but only played in just under 70 games. After making the opening day roster for the shortened 2020 season, he'd get sent down to the alternate site almost immediately, later making his way back up and doing extremely well, hitting .267 with an OPS over 900. And then the 2021 season arrived, and let's just say it wasn't necessarily that great for Clint. In 2021, Clint Frazier hit .186 with a .633 OPS and a negative 1.4 wins above replacement in 66 games. On top of that, he had to take himself out of a game during the summer because of dizziness and never played in a game for the rest of the year because of it. In 4 seasons with the Yankees, Frazier has put up a 0.2 baseball reference wins above replacement. Not exactly what people were expecting out of the 5th overall pick in the 2013 draft, and certainly not the Yankees, because they would end up designating Clint Frazier for assignment, later outright releasing him. About a week later, the Chicago Cubs signed him to a 1-year deal, and that's where we stand today. Well, sorta. Frazier is definitely someone who can come out of nowhere and have a monster season on a team trying to find their identity like the Cubs, and he seems like he couldn't be more excited to try and do so. After tweeting out that he's going to be wearing number 77 for the 2022 season, a Yankees fan quote tweeted it saying how glad he was that Frazier was no longer on the Yankees. Frazier responded back saying quote unquote, "So am I," with 4 laughing emojis. Ouch. Clint Frazier is someone who was never really able to tap into his full potential with the Yankees. Injuries and other players getting time over him factored into this, so it's no surprise that Frazier is a happy man knowing that he'll get to be playing more now that he's in a Cubs uniform. Let me know what you think about Clint Frazier's public comments against the Yankees, and thank you for watching.